Good evening or afternoon. It's just noon now. Good day to you, wherever you may be in the universe. I am Raymond Camden. Welcome to episode, as he checks his notes, episode 24 of Code Break. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it past three, so being in the 20s is very, very good. I hope you're having a good day. As always, I ask that if you're out there in the comments, you let me know that you're alive so that I'm not speaking to the void. Thank you, Sue. Sue, you win the prize. Hola to you as well. It is a good week so far. Sunday, Rod, good luck versus React. I think React is going to win. Um, Hello, everybody. That was a good week. Sunday was my fifth anniversary with my wife. We celebrated by having an incredibly good Mexican meal in town, and I had an incredibly good margarita. Um, 5 very, very good years. I married someone who is just as nerdy as I am, and that is a rare, rare thing indeed. So I'm very, very lucky. Job hunt is still going on. Keep hoping that I'll start this session and say, "Hey, guess what? I got the job." I feel like I'm kind of close on two, so we'll see. We'll see how things fall. But I am hopeful. And I'm actually excited about both opportunities. So uh, that's great. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I will say some more. Uh, Not shopkeeping. I'm drawing a blank on the word housekeeping. Some more housekeeping. I am going to be adjusting the next session. It won't be in 2 weeks on a Tuesday because I will actually be at Arc of AI. That is a conference in Austin where I will be speaking on two topics. One would be Gemini, Google's AI APIs, and one will be the Chrome AI stuff as well. So I'm looking forward to that. It's my first business trip in a while, and they're paying for everything except food. So I don't have to worry about shelling anything out of pocket as a lonely contractor now. Um, that being said, if you want to visit my website and hit that buy me a coffee link or become a patron, be my first person on Patreon. Uh, you are more than welcome to do so and make a donation or visit my Amazon wish list as well. I'll say, hey, actually, my birthday is coming up as well, April 8th. So you can absolutely visit my Amazon wish list and pick up something fun for me there. I will not complain. Uh, but with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get into this. Let me first switch over my screen and all that, and I can get to the sponsor. One second. Yes. How rude not to feed. No, to be honest, like I appreciate a conference that pays airfare and hotel. Like that's great. I don't mind paying for food. But even before I had this job situation, I would try to find conferences that would do that because that makes it easier for work to be cool with it. But anyway, let's do this. No, not that. Not that. I want this. Oh, and add this backstage. There we go. All right. I've only done this 24 times. I should know by now. So thank you again to Jam.dev. They are the sponsor. They've been the sponsor for, I think, maybe over a year now. They are a screen recording browser extension that will auto include your DevTools information for you. So, again, if you're trying to get feedback on your web app and you're working with non technical people, this is a great way to make that process a bit easier. So, again, I thank you to them. I'm actually going to be covering this tool very, very soon because I think it's interesting and I'd like to actually show it. I've been talking about them for a while. I wouldn't mind showing them. So now is a good time to kind of recap what we did last time and how bad it went. Uh, my last session was don't like React. Let's React. And I definitely preface that section by saying, I have nothing against React at all. That I think there's a big conversation about when you should use frameworks in a web application. 'Cause I think a lot of times you shouldn't be using it. It's overkill. Outside of that, my only beef with React was that I wasn't a fan of JSX. And you can actually let me get an example on screen. Like just the fact that they had JavaScript with HTML embedded always felt icky to me. But fine, like I can get over that. Like I honestly wanted to learn enough React just to know the basics in case I ever wanted to do something with it. I keep encountering, for example, services that will include a UI component along with their APIs, and the UI components are React only. And I have feelings about that. I think they should just do a web component. But I would love to get to a point where at least I could fire up a Hello World React application, drop in this particular component and see how it works and, kind of go from there. So that was my intent. My intent was to, can I learn enough React to do something kind of very basic, and then proceed from there. And maybe I won't dislike it as much, or maybe be a great thing for me to blog about. Just my experience. So one of the first things I also talked about is how there is a recent change where the React team has deprecated the tool to make React applications, which feels a bit crazy. But they're thinking, if I could speak for them, that's based on the blog post that let me see if I have that linked elsewhere. I do. Hold on one second. I will get this on screen for y'all. Home saw like that. All right, yeah. So they're getting rid of the CLI that they already had and recommending others, but they're also kind of like not talking about building React apps anymore. Instead, they're talking about working with Next and other frameworks as well, and like that kind of bothered me from a developer relations aspect, that it just seemed like they're giving up on building just a React application. But at the end, if your app has unusual constraints, or you prefer to solve problems by building your own framework, or you just want to learn how React works from scratch, like even the fact that learning React is the third item listed just triggers me. It triggers me that's considered to be the least the least important thing. And I promise I will get off my developer relations soapbox. It's hard to do that when you do that like every single day. But they did have a Vite Create React migration guide. We looked at that, and the first issue we ran into is that it didn't tell you how to actually start a Vite application. And I Googled and I struggled. Sue helped me, thank God, and gave me, I'll make that a little bit bigger for y'all, one second. Boom, boom, boom. This npm command, npm create Vite at latest. And somebody else in the audience, I forget who, suggested, passing in a couple of additional arguments as well. Yeah, that's Paul. Yes, I agree with you. One of the difficult things, for me anyway, looking at any type of development framework, there's part of me that's learning it, and then there's part of me that is, again, having the DevRel hat on and thinking about how they present things. So yes, again, but I'm getting off that soapbox. I'm done with that. So I struggled also to find out how to build a basic app. Again, Sue helped me, and another audience member came up with this modification as well. So I was able to build a React application. Going back to the docs, the quick start actually I thought was kind of nice. It talked about how the components worked, and like even this little, make that a little bigger, and y'all just tell me if things are too small. Like I can dig this. Like, okay, the function used JSX to return some HTML. and then I could use that in my app. That made sense. And as it went on, it talked more about how to do this. Talked about the importance of having one root DOM element. Alpine has the same thing. Vue does as well. I think they may have removed that in Vue 3. I don't know. Anyway, and I talked about this kind of weird mechanism to kind of fake it, and it just continues on. And for the most part, I was cool with this. I didn't like the fact that they didn't have conditional rendering baked into their template language. I kind of had to do it without. However, I will say there are template languages that are really strict about what you can do in it and don't allow for conditions. You have to do something like this before you use a template language. So that's neither here nor there. I can get over it. And again, I like having this one page where all of these examples are kind of rendered in there for me. I can dig that. All right. And so I felt like, and also I talked about how to handle events, right? And lastly, the updating the screen, I kind of got that. How you need to declare a variable that is going to be, I guess, dynamically bound and everything by using use state. It gives you a variable. It gives you a function to update it. Yeah, that was weird, but like I got it. And I think I stopped reading it using hooks, and I probably should not have. But I felt like at this point, like I had enough. Like I knew how to create an application, and so I was going to build a simple demo application that made use of the Dad Joke API. I use it all the time. Um, and all I wanted was an application that would load. It would call the API, get a dad joke, have a button. You would click the button, and it would get a new joke. That's absolutely not something that I would use any framework for, but it gave me a mental model of something to build. Like, okay, I know what I'm trying to build here. This should be no problem. And oh my God, was it a problem? Let me actually get into the code of that last thing here. Let me actually load the application up, make sure it's still running. Yeah, I know it's real small. We could tweak that later. But where is it? So it is app.jsx. Yeah, so I had written a function separate from my React code, just by itself, which is how I would imagine it in any other application, right? I'm wrapping the logic of getting a particular joke. And at first, I just had this, like a console.log, and return some static data. I did not have async yet because it was fine, and I used it in my React code and no problem. And then I just willy-nilly switched it to async. I added in the code here, and that should be big enough. Scott is always my good litmus test to ensure that I have my text big enough. So Scott, speak up if it's too small. And I switched, and then immediately everything went to heck. Like nothing worked. And I spent maybe 10 minutes just trying to figure out. I Googled, I think I actually went to Gemini and asked AI, and it was like, oh, you need to use effect. And it actually gave me the code. And this kind of makes sense. And so I've Googled since then, but let's do it again real quick. Why do I need to use, or how about this? What is the purpose of use effect in React? All right. And so the use effect hook, not sure what a hook is. I did kind of skip over that part in the documentation. To perform side effects and functional components, it serves as a replacement for lifecycle methods. So coming from the Vue world, I know I get lifecycle methods, but yeah. So by using use effect, developers can manage tasks like data fetching, which is exactly what I'm doing, DOM manipulation, subscriptions, and timers in a more controlled and predictable manner. So use effect contains two arguments, a function containing the side effect, and an optional dependency array. And let's see what I did. I only used the function with a empty value of, what was the second argument? Second thing was, optional dependency array. The dependency array determines when the effect should run. Oh, that may be important. If the array is empty, the effect only runs once after your initial render. So basically, this right here is onload do stuff. Uh, what's this? Oh, you're from Vue. Makes sense. You got triggered. Yeah, I was absolutely triggered. Yeah, I'll be honest. I stopped using Vue around Vue 3. I just and kind of switched to Alpine because I was doing much more smaller stuff. But most of my background is Vue. All right, so I get this. This is actually beginning to click, and this is actually running. So if we go back to my application, right here, we see the joke. It is incredibly small. How hard would it be to fix it? Let's go into app.css. And this is all, I'm guessing, from the default, like all kind of crap I'm not using, like logo. I know I can get rid of that. The animation. Yeah, let's get rid of all this. And in theory, it should look the same. But let's actually make, let's wrap, where did my stuff go? Where's my joke? There's my joke. All right, we'll make this, and if I remember the docs, class, I've used class name equals joke. So if I do div.joke, we can make that font size equals 2 EM? No, 3 EM. And in theory, that'll make it nice and big if I know what I'm doing, which I apparently do not know what I'm doing. It is reloading. Yep. Oh, div.class. I'm an idiot. I said what I thought. All right. Boom. You can't use raw React. What I'm trying to do. I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm sharing some interesting comments here. Reach, he meant React component functions called a lot, so only do things in the main body of the function you want to happen on every re-render. That kind of makes sense, yeah. All right, so it's actually clicking a little bit more now, but what I want to do is add that button back in, right? I want to add a button. And let's just get rid of all of this, all the on-click. Let's just get the button freaking rendering first. And you can see this was me testing last time. I'll leave that there for now. So reload. I should have a button that does nothing. I need to CSS that down a little bit, but the question remains is how, let's make this a little bit smaller. How do I tie that button in when I no longer have a function? I mean, this is out here, but let's just comment out the whole thing. I'm not using this anymore because it's in my use effect, right? So, and like the doc said, if I have no dependencies here, this is essentially saying run on start, and we see it working. So the question remains, like, how can I then have a button that says I need to do something that's going to have an effect? Because I can't call any function outside of here. I can call a non-async function. If I do function foo, return foo, oops, like that. And if I do on click equals, let's just do foo. Although I'm not rendering anything, but we'll open up DevTools. Why are you over here? Come down there. I don't care what's new. Thank you. So expected to be a function. Instead, got a value of string type. Nope, that's not right. How about we do this? Just foo. And you're still unhappy. Oh, no, you're not. All right, so this should do, not rendering anything, but, you know, It's there. So how then can I use effect? How can I reuse the code in there such that when I click the button, it does something? So we Googled, first thing is from a deleted user on Reddit. But use effect runs after each render unless you include the dependency array. If the array is empty, if it's after any one of the dependency updates. So how would you? So if I get rid of the array, it's gonna rerun anytime I have a dependency update. So let's. All right, I have multiple. This is the great audience. This is the great audience. I'm getting a lot of people back here. No, I absolutely want hints from the audience. I actually clicked on the wrong thing, Paul. Instead of inlining it. So yeah, that makes me happy. I don't like having an inline. So let's, before we do anything else, let's bring that bad boy back, like so. All right, and I believe it's result.joke. So we can just return, wrap this a little bit up, make this a little bit more tight. All right, so let's see if he is correct. We're going to comment out the fetch data and the call to it, and instead just call get that, or I still need this. I need to set the data. Okay, hold on. So how about let joke equals await get that joke. Oh, and then set data joke. And I'm immediately getting an error on there because of wait. So can I make use effect be async? All right, so let's see if, and Adam, I do see your comment as well. I'm doing Paul's first. Let's see if that broke it. No, I got rid of that error. I'm pretty sure. Let's reload. Oh, I did break it. Destroy is not a function. Well, are you sure destroy is not a function? Use effects must not return anything besides a function which is used for cleanup. I don't think I returned anything. I don't think I returned anything. You can't really return a promise from, oh, yeah, you can't really return a promise from use effect. And when you add async to a function, it makes it automatically return a promise. Dang it. Okay. Yep, man. Yeah, Adam, your second comment stressed that. Yeah. Okay, so going back to you, Paul, I'll put you on the spot here. If you said I should be able to not, you said I should be able to remove the function, correct? So can I remove the function? Okay. All right. I do the old school then. Oh, gross. Not too gross. All right. So how about get that joke, then set data. It's been so long since I've done a then set data joke. See if that does it. Let me reload. Joke is not defined. Yeah, now I'm having like a brain fart. It's been so long, so I did promise then. Let's see, promise then example. I used to teach, I still do teach this stuff. Show me a simple example. Then yeah, the value. I wrote that syntax, right? I mean, I could do the parentheses shouldn't be needed. See line 44, change J to, oh my God. Yep, all right. Yeah, trying to be slick here. Thank y'all. Now you're seeing why I fail live code interviews. Okay, cool. Thank you, Paul. We have got it out of here, which makes me happier. I love React now. Okay, so the next question is, and I believe Adam talked about this. All right, I'm gonna try to understand what you said, Adam, here. In terms of I want the button now to do it. So have the joke in state, make an async function that set that state, and call it on click. And also have the use effect. So I do have my async function. Make an async function that sets that put line 44 and the event handler 2. There's no way. There's no way. You're saying this? No way it's going to work. It's impossible. If it works, I'll give you $1 million if I have it. All right. Oh, all right. Stop. Nope. I am killing their API now. Kill it and save it. Sorry. Yep. Yep. Too many requests. Okay. It'll have to be a function. All right. So oh yeah, do it kind of, yeah. This is what you had meant. Even my code assist is helping me. So closer, warmer. So I know y'all are a few seconds behind. I'm not sure how well y'all saw over the stream, but it was instantly reloading that, and I kind of get why it was doing it. So let's see. I'm going to save this. Oops, not the web page. I'm going to save this, and hopefully I'm not spamming. Yeah. Oh God, I killed the API. Let's see if they have how long I have to wait. You know, good API will come back and say, hey, you can't call me 100 per minute. All right. I definitely killed 100 per minute. So let's kill 30 seconds while I take a sip. By the way, Adam, Paul, thank y'all so much. Been very, very helpful. All right. I feel like that's been a little bit. Let's reload and see what happens. All right, we got a joke, and we're gonna click. Heck yes! All right, thank y'all. So let me get rid of some of this older code as well. So, all right, so I'm gonna push things a little bit here. So I understand how line 33 is working. I get that. Thank you. That was Adam. Thank you, Adam. If I thought that was too much code, and you can tell me if I should just not think this way, but if I thought that this was too much code in my markup, and I really wanted something that was basically like update joke, for example. So Control KC. You tell me if I want something a little bit cleaner. On click equals update joke, let's say. And the only reason is that it's a little bit simpler. And I could also imagine if the API was slow, I would want to have logic that would update a loading indicator that would do whatever else. So let's see. So Paul is saying I should look at use callback. Anybody else agree with Paul before we Google that? By the way, I really feel like the React docs should have had a good example of this. Like, I feel like hitting an API call is like every person's going to use. And I'm kind of getting that it triggered the need for use effect. I kind of get it. But like, if we go back to those docs, maybe I gave up too early, but like goes to a quick start to a tutorial, which I thought was kind of overkill. And because it also didn't tell you how to start an application, you know, I was not a fan of it, but maybe I should not have given up so quickly. And thinking in React, yeah, I should probably read that as well. I'm not going to read this live with y'all, obviously. Just GPT, how to do it. All right. So now, okay, now we have Paul saying I should look at use callback, and we have Adam saying it won't help me here. uh, how about this? How about all right? Before we do this, I'm kind of curious about is how I would deploy this application. Like, let's say it's done. Only thing I want to do, because it's bugging me, is I do want to move that button down a little bit. Class name equals joke button. And we'll go into here and button joke button. I just want to make it a little bit bigger and lower. We'll do a margin top equals 25px. Yeah, and font size. We also make it 2am. You were supposed to be EM, not RAM. And yeah, that looks actually pretty darn good. I would ship that. Oh, I forgot. I had. Yeah, let's Control KC. Let's bring you back, and then we're gonna ship this baby. All right, do you work now? Yes. Although I could have sworn. Oh, because I put the on class and I put the class name in here. All right, class name equals joke button. All right, so boom, we have something done. So how to actually build this? Germitol is saying drag and drop on Vercel. I've used Vercel in the past. I haven't really used it recently. I am curious, is there anything in the default package.json? Yeah, build. Okay, that was stupid easy. Control C, npm run build. And that was fast. That's one thing about Vite. It cannot be beat for speed. And yeah, we have a folder. I don't really want to put it live per se. I was just kind of curious what that would look like. This looks perfect. And for the heck of it, let's make sure it works. I will go in there. I will run a web server on this, and you should open up. It opened up in the wrong web browser. But yeah, this is my curious if I could see how much I'm downloading for this, because again, React is going to be overkill for something as simple as that. And yeah, I have no doubt Vercel makes it easy, but that is okay. I'm not worried about that right now. But I will say, like, I am pleasantly happy with that build process. Pleasantly happy enough with how it baked everything together. And I opened up network and forgot, but that's not too terribly bad, I guess. But anyway, whew, we have that. Really feel like stopping now, even though it's only 30 minutes in. But let's see. Paul, he's still talking about use callback. What you have in the on click. Yeah, okay. Use callback is level 2. Custom hook is level 3. And yeah, and Adam's suggesting custom hook as well. Yeah. So I'll put you both in the spot here. Adam, would you agree with Paul that maybe use callback would be a simpler way to do it versus a custom hook, which may be a little bit more complex? Not incorrect at all. But would you agree that perhaps looking at use callback would be a way to handle this? That makes sense. And I'll use this as an excuse to have some more water. Let's see. And while people are typing, let's actually look up React. So we have an argument here. All right, use callback with performance API. No help there. It will make things render less. All right, I will take your word. on that. So really hearing custom hooks. So let me ask this then. In my last session, look it up in the docs. All right. I assume you use callback. So yeah, let's before I say anything, let's look at use callback and see how easy it is to understand. Use callback is a React hook. I still don't think I have a good idea of what a React hook is. What is a React hook? No, stop. Hook. React hooks are functions that let you hook into React state and lifecycle features within functional components. Okay, yeah. Oh, this kind of reminds me of something they did in Vue. Right, but they made it easier to share code because you weren't using classes. So I'm getting kind of a vague thing on it. So, all right. Use callback as React hook that lets you cache a function definition between re-renders. Okay. So how does it cache? Use callback at the top level of your component to cache a function definition between re-renders. All right. Oh, and they actually have an async example of sorts in there. And I'm seeing the dependency here. Yeah, that's kind of like use effect. And yeah, I kind of get it. Depends on the product ID, which makes sense. Refer is something that would just be there. And so my assumption then is that if product ID were to change, it would understand that it can't use the cache result anymore. Maybe. So it's a hook, one be called the top level of your component. All right. And will not throw away the, okay. Paul, I will not promise to understand that completely, but maybe what I need to do then here is to start work on the second application that I wanted to build to see how much more quicker I can get around it. Dependency arrays or cache keys, when they change, it resets the cache. So that begs the question then, for an API where the value can change based on the input, does that mean you would not want to cache it? So for example, if I had a weather API and it takes a location, and technically we could say checking weather within a minute, it won't change, but ignoring that. In that example for weather, even though I'm setting the same input, I can't use a cache response. So would this be a killer? Would this be a non-usable thing for a function that can never return a static response? I said that horribly, but give Paul here a second to respond. And by the way, this is my stream. I'm sorry that I'm bugging Paul and Adam so much. I really, really appreciate y'all helping me out here. It's beginning to click a little bit more. Yeah, it's not the response as cache, but the actual function. Okay, that's fair enough. So then that negates my whole concern there. So what I was thinking about doing for my second application was a bit more complex, and it was the idea of a application making use of the Google Places API such that you would load the application. It would use the browser's geolocation to find out where you are, and then it would ask you to pick a category of place. So restaurant, bank, pharmacy, whatever. Once you've picked your type of thing that you want, because it knows your location, because it knows what you want, it could then use the Google Places API to tell you, oh, hey, within a mile, here are the 3 eggs. And so in my mind, I was thinking that would be kind of a decent React application because I could use a little bit of routing, right? So the first page would get your location, and the second page would give you the list of things to select from, and the third page would actually be the results. And uh, this is an application I built in the past, and I've done it various levels of complexity, but I've also, for example, allowed you to actually click on a result and see the physical address of the place and the actual open hours and things like that. So that was my dream of what I could build in React. What I'm kind of curious about is like how crazy is it going to be to add in routing, considering that I know that they probably want to push me to use something like Next or Nux or whatever it is, and not do routing in React. That's my first issue. Uh, that being said, I could try to build this application without routing. We could do something simple where we just show and hide stuff. Like when you initially get there, it shows a screen that says, "Hey, I'm going to get your location. Please stand by," and it does that. And then after it has that, it makes a DOM menu visible of here are the things that we care about. You know? Yeah. Has no built-in run. That's fair, but React Router and TanStat are both excellent for SBAs. I'm curious. Let's look up React Router and see how easy it is to add to a page. Go into the docs, getting started, declarative, sure, why not? Oh, you can literally just add it. Well, that sounds crazy easy. Well, you know what? Let's go for it. I doubt we'll get very far. We're already 42 minutes in, but let's go for it. I'm gonna back up out of here. I'm gonna back up out of here. We're gonna go back to my notes, and we're gonna try that npm create vite at latest folder name app. No, we'll call it the app name. I need it. Dash template React and magic time. Boom 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 boom. Do your thing. Did I typo? Comma is not a. Okay. Let me just kill this. let's do it the simplest way. And project name, I need it. Framework will be React. Ooh, you're not working well on that. JavaScript. Done. All right. CD, I need it. I need it. npm I. As it installs the entire internet. Oh, so 2 dashes before template React. What did I have? Go back to, oh, right in front of me. Ah, okay. I will try that next time. Thank you, Sue. All right, React is installing all of the things. And once that's done, we're going to add. No, I'm not going to do anything. I am going to make sure it actually runs npm run dev and control click. Oh my God! Stop opening up over here when you should be here. Yep. All right. That's the default application. So yay us. And then actually, I've got too many windows open. Let me copy that, kill that, get back to my normal browser, and get back in here. All right. And all right, so we have it working. So let's try adding React Router. And then we'll follow the rest of the stuff. Save this. We added the React Router. All right, so far so good. Render a browser router in your application. That kind of makes sense. That's the core wrapper. It's going to handle knowing what route you're on. So we will first import it into my application, which should be, and let's close some stuff here so we know where we are. This is all from the previous application. All right, go into here, app.jsx, and I will just do it here. I'm gonna get rid of the logos, which I know for a fact I don't need. Don't want to change too much at once. And then the next change was to add a browser router. So you know what? We could actually get rid of this. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong file. Nope. Anybody else notice it? Not yet. I think this is supposed to be in main. Yeah, it's supposed to be in main. Look at that. I am learning. So add this here. And I bet I don't need strict mode. But let's maybe not go crazy. Let's just try browser router. And try it like that. And save it. npm run dev. Holy crap, did it not break? Let's reload. It did not break. Nice. I remember I'd gotten rid of the logos. Whew. All right. So far, so good. Keep strict mode. I did. Thank you, Adam. All right. So, configuring routes. I'm running routes and a couple URL segments in it. So, that makes sense. So yeah, I get this. We are saying the default route is just going to be the app homepage. Yeah, that clicks. And I'll save it. Make sure I didn't break it. Let's go back. All right. Oh, I needed to import routes. Yeah, I did not see that change, but that makes sense. I'm going to add to our imports here. Okay. Go back. We have a page. Heck yeah. So then if I want a second one, here's a larger sample. Yeah, okay. They don't explain it, but I bet route index just means that's the default. That kind of makes sense. Well, let's try to make a new page. And I'm just gonna guess here. I like the about. It's gonna try to load the about component, which doesn't exist. So I'm gonna make a new file called about.jsx. I'm totally guessing here. We're going to import about from about.jsx. I do not expect this to work until I actually write some code in there. Copying from my main thing. And it's not going to be called app. It's going to be called about. And the count and the set count I'm not really using. I'm not going to worry about CSS. I will kind of do a little bit of cleanup on this just to make it kind of obvious and say H2, this is about, and we are exporting about. And I believe I didn't screw anything up. I don't see any errors. I don't see any errors. And if I go to /about, oh my God. Oh, it worked. I can't believe it. Cool. So, I know View Router had like default ways to handle navigation. So I'm just going to keep looking. Like nested routes, I get that's a feature. That's cool. Routes without a path, create new nesting for the children. That's fine. Okay, that makes sense, kind of. Route prefixes, dynamic segments. This is all pretty standard router stuff. Linking, that's what I care about. Link to routes from your UI with a link and nav link. So you know what? We're going to try this from the home page. So we're going to go into my app.jsx. I am no longer using account value, so I'm going to get rid of that. This will really kind of minimize here. Say H1, this is home. And oops, we're going to import that. I really like semicolons. Let me add these in. And it was Navlink makes it easy to show active sale. That's a cool feature, but we will just use link. And I recognize that I should remove the import for Navlink, but I'm not going to worry about that. And we are linking to about. I have to say, I am almost digging it. Almost digging it. Let's see. About. Holy smokes. Oh, go back. Holy smokes. That works. That works. So in theory, I could start building this route by route, and most likely, no, I'm thinking too far ahead. So what I want to do is like break this into steps now, right? So in this old application, what I used to do, and you know, I'll take some notes here because we're definitely not going to finish today. So this is the home page, duh. It should show a message to the user stating that it will be getting your location. You have to approve the prompt, etc. And then once it has the location, it should auto move to the next page. So I'm sure React Router has a way to, via JavaScript, to do that navigation to the next page. So it will auto navigate to page 2, which is a list of services. So, y'all, list of services accidentally erased. Y'all, I made a lot of progress today, and because of y'all's help today, I greatly appreciate all of y'all commenting today. I think I may actually be able to build this. It may not be the best React application, but it'll be something. it'll be there. So in the next session, I'm going to try to get the geolocation stuff working. It's just an async function, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Before the next session, and you know what? I'm no longer sharing anymore. Just my big face. We'll switch to this so I can look at y'all. Before the next session, I'll make sure I have my Google key ready for the Places API. I haven't used it for like 10 years, but it's fairly simple. Location, what I want, and like the range to search and gets results. But I'm gonna have that ready to go. So in theory, we can just like bang out these routes and see what happens. So once again, thank you, Adam, Paul, Sue, Jamartol. Hope I said your name correctly. And all y'all who are sitting here being quiet as well, excuse me. Thank you very much. Again, the next one is going to be not in 2 weeks. I believe it is going to be actually on my birthday. Oh, no, it won't be actually. And for reasons I'll say why. Most likely it'll be April 9th. But I will obviously share my blog, and Brian will have it on the cfe.dev website. So y'all will have the announcements and all that. You know, I was really considering just saying learning React was a mistake. And while I still feel like a little bothered by some stuff, it is absolutely clicking more. So this was a great group session. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Again, thank you to everybody, and have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.